Welcome in to I Remember My First Time. Don't be nasty, Jacob. Not that first time.
Damn
This
it.
is a podcast about cinematic awakenings,
I like the sound of
where
that.
we talk about movies we love. Someone who just popped their cherry to that movie.
Oh, yeah. That sounds good.
Jacob, are all the movies we do on this podcast going to be good movies?
God, I hope
Do
not.
we like shitty movies?
Oh, we love shitty movies. Sometimes, even more than good
Are
movies.
we critics?
Mm-mm. Absolutely not.
But do we love movies?
Oh, BJ, we love the shit out of movies. And this week's Oscar bait masterpiece is the 2008 Mickey Rourke classic, The Wrestler.
Jacob, this is the only place I don't get hurt.
BJ, isn't this when you usually sit on guys' faces?
I am BJ Leica, and there are endless housewives begging for my man meat.
Joined as always by me, Jacob Ekus. And that pussy Cobain did ruin everything. Damn, BJ, that was a perfect line for me because I do not like Kurt Cobain and
That's
Nirvana.
why I put it in there. I knew you would like that.
I really wanted to text you and be like, dude, I want my opening quote to be like, they call me the Ram, but it's because I ram my dick in that pussy.
That's you just
But
basically stole
I
my impersonation bit.
uh, this pod's starting off real good.
Oh, let's see. We have The Wrestler, described by Tubi. That's right, Tubi, as an ex professional wrestler who, despite himself and the odds stacked against him, lives to be a hero once again inside the ring. That's not correct
The
at all.
No, he is still a professional wrestler. You can say an aging professional wrestler, a professional wrestler in his twilight years or outside of his prime or whatever you want to say. You can't say a former professional wrestler.
Rated. This is all over the place ratings, by the way.
Okay.
7.9 out of 10 on IMDb, 80%
Okay.
on Metacritic, and a 98% Rotten Tomatoes score.
Of course, it has 98% Rotten Tomatoes score. That doesn't surprise me at all. Okay.
We do have our buddy Raj once again.
Yeah, we do.
I you know what Raj thought of this movie, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Raj liked this movie.
Incorrect. Raj fucking loved this movie. He gave it 4 out of 4 stars.
I mean, that's what I meant. Of course, he gave it 4 out of 4. Also, your Bush Light hat is incredible.
Ah, it's my Ross Chastain hat. Gotta rep my driver.
Hell yeah. Okay, what
Repping the
did I say?
watermelon man over here on IRMFT.
Awesome.
So, Roger Ebert's review titled, "These Guys Learn How to Fall. Want to sign up for lessons?" The Wrestler is about a man who can do one thing well and keeps on doing it because of need, wary skill, and pride. He wrestles for a living. Pro wrestling is a fake sport, right? Yes, but as an activity, it's pretty real. I watch it on TV with fascination. It's scripted that the villain sneaks up on the hero, who pretends not to see him, and pushes him over the ropes and out of the ring. Fake. But when the hero hits the floor, how fake is that? Those guys learn how to fall. People tell me, want to sign up for lessons? Did
Mm-mm.
Roger just go into like a poetry prose right there or something?
He did.
He goes on in the review. Here's the irony, which he, talking about Mickey Rourke, won't accept. Cassidy is as much a performer as Randy. He is a ring worker, she is a sex worker. They put on a show and give the customers what they want. It pays the rent. There is always a chasm between pros and their audience. Magicians say the trick is told when the trick is sold.
Okay, Roger.
Ending the review, I cared as deeply about Randy the Ram as any movie character I've seen this year. I cared about Mickey Rourke too. The way this role and this film unfolded, that almost amounts to the same thing. Rourke may not win the Oscar for Best Actor, but it would make me feel good to see him up there. It really would. Ending the review with note, The Wrestler is one of the year's best films. It wasn't on my best films list for complicated and boring reasons. So, Jacob, what do we got for the budget for The Wrestler?
Oh wait, let's do an IRMFT summary off the cuff because I don't have one ready. You got one
No,
ready?
but I could do one off the cuff for this movie.
Do it. I want to hear yours. Our wrestling fanatic of the podcast.
Aging wrestler Randy the Ram faces heartache as he drops from a heart attack after an extremely brutal match. Knowing that he can't wrestles, he tries to find peace, reunite with his daughter, and take the stripper home for the rest of her life. Because that stripper really does like you, listener. They really do. Anyway, he fucks that up and has one more match, which I'm assuming ends in death, even though the movie just blanks out.
That was a good one. I like the bit about the stripper.
Because, spoiler alert, you get to see Marissa Tomei's titties in this movie.
Like a couple times.
You think she got her nipples pierced for this role, or you think those are fake?
I think they're fake.
Mm, it's not what I'm going to imagine to believe.
BJ's like, damn it. I was really hoping you weren't gonna say fake.
Do you have an off the cuff one, or you good with that one?
Oh no, I'm good at that one. The budget was a measly $6 million.
It's impressive what they did with
It's
6 million.
yeah, 100%. That's Darren Arnofsky or whatever his last name is.
Yeah.
It's kind of shit that he. That's the kind of shit that he pulls all the time. Its opening weekend, it made $202,000, almost $203,000. Its gross in Canada and the US was about 26 million. And worldwide, it brought in close to $45 million.
Okay, so that first weekend must have been like a limited release thing.
Um, maybe.
I mean, it's not making
I didn't get any.
200,000 in opening weekend and ended up with 44 million.
I mean, maybe worldwide. Everybody loves wrestling, but I don't know. I did no research. I don't know how.
Yeah, this isn't the podcast you come to for research.
Mm-mm. So, but yeah, that is the budget. Simple, easy. BJ, what'd you think about this movie?
Oh, it's a hard watch. It's an even harder watch your second time. It was a rough watch. Obviously, incredibly well acted, really cool directing, some pretty cool wrestling spots in it, but it's definitely an Oscar baity movie. If you're into Oscar movies, I'm sure you love this movie. If you're not into your typical Oscar movie, you probably think this movie kind of sucks, which kind of surprises me with the 9.8 or not, sorry, 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I would have figured there would be some big wrestling fans that watched it and was like, "What was that bullshit?" But
Yeah,
it's kind of a typical Oscar bait movie that gets real tropey in kind of the middle third of the movie, I would say. When it's good, it's
yeah.
good, but God, It's a long, hard watch for an hour and 45-minute movie.
Long and hard, that's what she said. But yeah, it's a long, hard watch for an hour and 50 minutes. 2 hours. It's tough. I remember this movie being a lot better, and I pretty much echo what you said. It is a tough watch, and it is even a tougher rewatch.
Yeah, the rewatch part of it is a huge factor.
Yeah, but whatever. What'd you like about the movie?
Obviously, the acting, both Mickey Rourke and Marissa Tomei, and even Evan Rachel Wood for that matter. She's not in it a ton, but it really powerful scenes when she is in it. I thought it was shot in a really cool way where they had a lot of those like back walking, back of the head camera shots. I
Mhm,
thought they did a really good job of making you feel like you were in the wrestling matches and kind of what they did scoring the music, especially that ear ringing when certain things happened, I thought was just great. And I thought I called it 90s elementary school lighting that they shot through the whole movie. I actually really liked the look of that in a weird way. I bet a lot of people hated it, but I thought it was really cool.
I liked a lot of the same things you did. The acting's incredible, the directing's incredible. I love the soundtrack. I love you mentioned the ear ringing. I also like the opposite of that. Like, a good example is whenever he's going to the deli counter the first time, and you just hear the faint crowd noises. I thought that stuff was awesome.
Where before he walks in
And
through the
yeah,
door, he's acting like his music's about to hit and he's about to go down the ramp.
mhm,
Hell yeah.
yeah, yeah. A lot of good stuff there. The acting's good. So yeah, same stuff you like. Things I didn't like about the movie, just how bored I was. I mean, it's an hour and 15-minute movie, and I'd say I was probably bored for an hour and 15 minutes. When I watch a movie, I don't want to be bored for three quarters of it. I don't
So
know.
what basically post heart attack to the last match?
Yeah, most of the movie. The That's the kind of movie that I have such a hard time with his
Is it
last name.
Arnofsky?
Arnosky? Whatever. That's the kind of movies that he makes, like Requiem for a Dream, The Fountain.
Black Swan.
The a Yeah, the acting's incredible, the story is there, the directing's incredible, but the whole middle part of his movies are kind of a fucking drag.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Overall, good movie?
I'm gonna go overall and call it an Oscar movie. I'm not calling it a good movie because I was bored for three quarters of it. It's an Oscar movie for sure, and I've never seen Milk with Sean Penn, so I'm not saying that Mickey Rourke deserved the Oscar this year, but he did an incredible job acting, and had he won the Oscar, I wouldn't have been upset about it.
Yeah, kind of later in my life going on, I don't enjoy the movies that are trying to win an Oscar. Now there are movies that win Oscars that aren't trying to win an Oscar, but this one's definitely trying to win an Oscar, and I'm a little bit over that at this point in my life, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, just make a good movie.
Yeah,
Like, you don't have to try to win an Oscar. I'm not watching it for that. Just make a
what's
good
the
movie.
Scorsese, Jack Nicholson, Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio movie? Yeah,
The Departed.
won an Oscar, not trying to win an Oscar. That's fine. This movie was just trying too hard to win an Oscar.
Yep. It's like The Revenant with DiCaprio trying to win an Oscar. Don't do that shit with me. But anyways, what's next? Are we getting into it now?
We're ramming into it.
Oh, that was a good one. Ramming into the balls deep part of our episode.
When was the last time you saw this movie? Is this the second time you've seen it, or have you seen it more than that?
Oh, this is the second time I've seen it. Yeah, second time I've seen it, and the first time I saw it was probably 2009.
Same. I haven't seen it since then, and I was like, "Oof."
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever watch this movie a third time.
No. So, Mount Rushmore. You wanna go ahead and kick us off, Jacob, with your 4th favorite scene?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I'll kick her off. My fourth favorite scene, we've already kind of talked about it. It's the walking to the deli. I started off with him talking to his boss about the name tag. What what was his Christian
I
name?
think it was, like, Robert Randowski or something because he changed, Robert Randowski to Randy Robinson.
Okay. Yeah. I thought that little bit was funny. I thought the faint crowd noises as he's walking to the deli was great. And then I loved him just having the best time at work.
That's when he realized he was done with wrestling. He was like, "I can enjoy something else."
Yeah. Yeah. And it was a good heartfelt scene. It was that one part in the middle where I was like, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not bored right now. This is a good scene.
Yeah, Randy gets his groove back is,
Yeah.
was what I called this scene. But my 4th favorite scene is the hardcore match that leads up to the heart attack. Like,
Okay.
I love that they went back and kind of showed the match from the start. This is that really
Mhm.
good directing that makes you feel like you're in the match, and it just had all your stereotypical hardcore spots, and I gotta mention, "Use his leg, use his leg," where he beats him with one of the fans' amputated leg.
Yep. Yep. Thi this is my third favorite match, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just say my name for it. I called it the Mankind
Oh,
match.
okay, that's I would've known exactly what you said had you said that.
Yeah. But yeah, the like you said, like the best part of the scene was the flashback to the whole match and how that was shot. It made you feel like you were in the match and part of the match and what just fucking brutal.
It
And I'm watching this scene and I told them I was like, these scenes or these matches happen on the amateur wrestling channels and the hardcore shit. Like these matches happen. Like they're real.
and all the shit there's barbed wire and thumbtacks and ladders and garbage cans and steel chairs. I mean, there's everything you can imagine in that ring.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The WWE doesn't get that hardcore. Like I watched a clip from about 10 years ago where Mankind had a bunch of thumbtacks on the mat and Randy Orton was getting ready to spear or whatever Mankind into the
Act like
thumbtacks
you
and
don't know
then
it's RKO.
yeah, whatever. It is an RKO, but I couldn't remember the move because it wasn't an RKO, it wasn't a spear, but Randy Orton's trying to do something to get Mankind on the thumbtacks, and it doesn't work, and you end up getting Randy Orton's his whole back just
Ugh.
covered with thumbtacks. That's about as intense as it gets on the WWE. They these matches are a whole nother kind of
And
intense.
I did like how that wrestler, like, before you see all that, he's like, "We're not gonna do too much running. I'll go up against the rope one time, but you gotta clothesline me right then. I ain't going back and forth."
Yeah. He's like, "I look worse than I am. I feel great, but I'm not running."
That was your 3rd favorite scene?
Yeah, I just want everybody to know that if I was to grow my hair out, that's my hairline.
Um, my 3rd favorite scene is I think it's technically it's like the first match where they show all the locker room stuff and kind of a behind the scenes shot of the locker room. I liked the match, but I liked the locker room thing before, and, you know, For some reason in my head, I had the impression that Mickey Rourke's character was just kind of a piece of shit through the whole movie. And when he's, hyping up the guy he's going against and he's like, "You got it, kid." And I was like, "Oh, he's like not a bad guy." But this was mainly for the
Mm,
nerdy behind the scenes locker room wrestling stuff that this is my third favorite scene.
okay, that's a good scene. I'm glad you put that on there because it didn't make mine. My second favorite scene is also the deli counter. I love the rage quitting.
You're a fool for rage quitting, aren't you?
I'm a fool for rage quitting. And he rage quit in the best way possible.
You saw it coming
It
from
was
a
inc
mile away, but it
Yeah,
still
and it
worked.
was incredible. Yeah, and the first time I watched this movie, that was my top scene. Back in 2009, I was some young 17, 18-year-old kid, and I'm just like, "Fuck
That's how I'm gonna
yeah."
quit my job at Sonny Bryan's.
Mhm. But yeah, just a good quality scene. I loved him just fucking hitting the meat slicer. It was intense the first time I watched it. It was intense this time.
Because even then, like, you start like, it got the crowd noise back in before he did it, like, he had to amp himself up.
Yep, yep. Just a good scene. You felt all of the emotions. It was intense. It was just quality acting, quality shot. Like it was a scene that shouldn't have been as intense as it was, and it was intense.
I know this scene didn't make your list, but it was the walk on the beach with his daughter, and his sincerity and his how apologetic he was, how you could feel all those emotions. Did I cry in the ballroom dance? Yes. Yes, I did. And that's pretty much why it makes the second, because this was, I thought, the most emotional part of the movie and what it really needed because it was kind of dragging for me up to this point.
And this was a good scene. You're right though. Doesn't make my top four. Doesn't even get
I knew it
close.
wouldn't, but I
And
cried.
and maybe that's because of my own daddy issues. Yeah,
It, yeah.
that that piece of shit that disowned me.
Yeah, but it seems like that this was kind of his second chance, not his, in the case of your shitty dad, eighth chance, ninth chance. It might have
Yeah,
been, I don't
but
know,
but
but it seemed like kind of the second chance to me, I don't know.
yeah, but it was a good scene. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed him going to give her the presents because how funny was that that he got that stupid green shirt? That shit was so funny.
Did did anybody in the reviews call this movie woke for having a lesbian character?
No,
Oh.
people didn't care about that in 2008.
Oh, so that's not a new thing. It's been going on for 40 years now, huh?
Yeah, exactly. My so we're on our first favorite scene. Now, before we do the first favorite scene, I just want to do a little sidebar on two things that I have to sidebar real quick. First, I love the scene of him getting his drugs, his hairdo done, and going in the tanning salon. I thought that little trio was
That
fantastic.
was really good, kind of showing what it you're like, "Why is he broke?" Like, he seems to have a job, and he's doing this wrestling stuff on the side, he shows up to these legend things, why is he broke? It's like, "Oh, okay. I see why he's so broke."
Yeah, he's paying good money to keep the appearance of the professional wrestler alive. And then my other sidebar thing is, hey, baby, our truth is in this
Oh,
movie.
my guy. Did I fist pump when I saw R-Truth? Yes, I did, because R-Truth is
Yes, yes,
awesome.
I did. Yes, he is. He's for the
He
people.
is.
Loved an R Truth showed up in this movie. But I'm assuming our favorite scene, our number one scene is the same scene. It's Melissa Tomei running backstage to get to Mickey Rourke. And it's Mickey Rourke being like, no, man, like out there, that's me.
Uh,
That's where I
yeah,
belong.
that's the number 1 scene of the movie.
Yeah. And then he goes out and has potentially the last moment of his life, if not the last wrestling match of his life. And it's great.
Eh, it's
And you you get so many wrestling tropes in there, like the black guy playing the Arab
I
guy
love
doing stuff that has nothing to do with
I was
Iran
gonna say that
other than the
the
flag.
Ayatollah's real name is Bob.
Awesome.
I feel like people who don't know wrestling don't get that joke, but for us who knows it, that was hilarious.
Yeah. It was quality shit. Another good bit with him was Mickey Rourke showing up. He's like, "Hey, you wanna go over the main stuff?" He's like, "Main stuff? What you talking about? I'm the heel. You do your thing, and we'll be all good."
I'm the heel, you're the face. Let's go.
Yeah. Just all that stuff was quality. That's my number 1 scene. I know you have more stuff to say about it, and I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, on top of the wrestling stuff, the in-ring, the Bob, Ayatollah, whatever, knew something bad was happening, and he was like, "Just end it. Just just end the match, Ray. Pin me. What are you doing?"
Yes.
Kind
Yes.
of showing that, wrestlers have this big tough guy, violent, blah blah blah, but they like really care about each other in the ring. That was really cool.
Mhm.
But the crux of this scene is the emotion, and it's not the wrestling match that is the best part of it. It is the Marissa Tomei, Mickey Rourke conversation in the back. That's what this movie is all about, and what he wanted, and he can't do it because he needs the thrill of the crowd. He needs it more
Yeah.
than he
And
needs companionship.
one thing that I really liked about that scene is, like, what Roger brought up, because like, Melissa Tomei hates her job. She is just a stripper to get her son through school, get college money, all that stuff set up. It is just a job for her. But while she's back there watching Mickey Rourke give this speech to the crowd on why he loves what he does and why he'll never quit or whatever, at that moment, she was like, "I can't sit here and watch this, but I get it."
Yeah. She
And I can't be upset about that. And you got that from her facial expressions. Like, the acting in this movie is incredible. And she left, and it was really the messages that needed to be sent from that little bit were sent, and it was quality shit.
and that conversation, this part that we're talking about is maybe 35 seconds. They
Yes.
cram about as much emotion into a small window as you can in a movie, and that's why this movie was Oscar nominated. That encompasses
Yeah.
it right there in that 35 seconds.
Yes. I mean, that 35 seconds and the what, like 4 minutes of him and his daughter going out to the
Yeah,
beach, like those 2 scenes get you the Oscar nomination by themselves.
yeah, everything else is, I don't wanna say filler, but, like, those are the scene where you wrote those 2 scenes and you said, "I'm winning an effing Oscar, at least getting nominated."
Yep, yep. For now and forever, you'll be able to put next to my name Oscar nominated Mickey Rourke.
We already mentioned some of the other scenes, so I think we're good on the Mount Rushmore. For our overarching
Okay.
discussion, why do you think you liked this movie so much more the first time you watched it?
Couple reasons. One, I was way more into wrestling at 17 than I am at 32. And that has a lot to do with it. That also has a lot to do with the fact that adulthood is just busy, and Monday Night Raw is 3 hours long, WrestleMania is 2 days.
2 days
Like, I
plus
just
the
don't.
Raw after Mania. It took
Yeah.
me
I just
2 weeks to get through all of WrestleMania.
I just don't have that kinda time as an adult, and I don't have kids. So, so that plays a part. The other thing that plays a part is I've always been into action movies, right? Like, the movies that I like are the dumb ones. But I also love good cinema and good movies. And when I was 17, I think this movie blew me away. I thought it was probably one of the best movies I had ever seen. the acting, the directing, Mickey Rourke, who I didn't know anything about other than Sin City. Like I really thought this movie was like an all-time great at 17. Watching it now, like it still has those things going for it, but it is an average Oscar movie at best.
Yeah, I think for me it's actually ironically kind of the opposite, where I think at 20 or 21, however old I was definitely the peak, like I'm gonna be highbrow movie guy. Like, I'm like, "Oh, go fuck your Adam Sandler movies and your dumb action
Yeah.
movies. I want a film that cuts deep into emotion." And this is like, this is the meter stick of what do I need to do for an Oscar movie? Well, here you go. You got a main actor that completely changed his body for the movie. You got a stylistic director that shoots it in a style. You've got an emotional roller coaster, and you basically tell the story of three people and get really in depth and really emotional with those three. This is picture perfect for that. It's just at this stage in my life that doesn't really interest me anymore.
And considering that at 20 you were in this highbrow kind of phase when it comes to movies, you probably didn't have much to do with wrestling.
Oh, no, no. This was like I probably stopped watching wrestling when I was 13. So, this is,
Yeah.
7, 8 years after that. Yeah.
At 17, 18 years old when this movie came out, I was doing a theater class to get a credit. I ended up quitting football and did theater my senior year and made a couple plays. But when this movie came out, I wasn't a senior yet, and I hadn't quit for theater, and I was in this theater class for a credit with one of my high school buddies who wanted to become a professional wrestler. I went to his house to watch WrestleMania. He went to a match and got me some John Cena sweatbands. Can't see me, bitch. So, like, I was fucking into it. Those, it's funny, the two reasons that we like this movie are very similar versus the reasons we don't like it now are pretty similar.
All right. I enjoyed that talk, Jacob.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Character breakdown. I only put 3 characters. Did did you wanna mention anybody else other than the main 3?
I mean, I already mentioned
Yeah,
our truth. We're
yeah.
good.
The people's champ.
The people's champ,
John Cena
baby.
was his
You thought it
childhood
was the
hero
right.
even though he's older than John Cena.
That's right. And you might have thought the people's champ was The Rock, but it's not. It is our truth, baby.
That's the truth. I feel like I
But
feel
yeah,
like I'm in a wrestling show and we keep saying his name, so I feel like he's gonna show up at some point.
oh my god, if our truth randomly showed up on our podcast, I'd shit myself. And I just had coffee, so it would be easy.
Funny, I mean, I don't know about the best part, but when he shows up to the Women's Royal Rumble this year all confused, I was cracking up laughing. He's like, "Where are the men?"
Oh my gosh. But yeah, Mickey Rourke, what a great performance. They say that this was his comeback performance after coming back to Hollywood being sober and all that stuff. Like he had done a couple things up to this movie, but this was his like breakout movie, which was another reason I wanted to watch it when I was 17 because I was like, who the fuck is Mickey Rourke?
It's
He hadn't really done anything since.
it's well deserving of an Oscar performance. I you know, I don't know what more to say about it. Like, I don't there's nothing he did that was bad. He was incredibly believable as a on the downside of his career professional wrestler.
Yes, very much so. Like you said, there's nothing much to say. Like, incredibly deserving of the Oscar nomination. Wouldn't have been upset if he won.
Marissa Tomei also nominated for Best Supporting Actress, deservingly so.
Hmm.
A a really difficult performance that I think could have been absolutely dreadful in the wrong hands. Just having to be the counterbalance of Mickey Rourke and how she was such a different person in and outside of the club. And again, incredibly believable as a older stripper, just trying to be a mom.
Yep. And a good-looking older
Oh,
stripper. I mean,
yeah, yeah, Marissa Tomei is just incredible.
I'm pretty sure for all our listeners out there, what was the last movie we did?
Mhm.
Roadhouse. And we saw no boobs, none, not one set of boobs, and we saw all kinds of chest, all kinds of abs, and we saw a glory shot of Conor McGregor's ass.
Full ass.
And I asked my co-host on IRMFT, BJ, said, "Do you want to watch The Wrestler? I want to show them The Wrestler because she's been having questions about wrestling." Sidebar: this movie did not help that. Back on back back onto this story. I go, BJ, you want to watch The Wrestler? And his response was, yeah, you get to see titties in that movie.
It was right after we did the Roadhouse podcast, and we mentioned how we didn't see titties, and I was like, "Ooh, Marissa Tomei titties, sure."
But yeah, incredible performance. I enjoyed every scene she was in. She helped make the middle not boring.
Yeah. Evan Rachel Wood, Mickey Rourke's estranged daughter, she did not have much screen time, but she made the most of it. She's I
Agreed.
mean, she's probably on screen for 6 minutes of this movie, 7 minutes this movie. Shout out to her partner, she was awesome too. But again,
Hmm.
with a role this small to put that much weight into every scene was was a fantastic job by her.
I totally agree. I don't, and she had such little screen time. I don't have anything else to add to that, but I totally
Yeah,
agree.
shout out to her partner though. I found her very entertaining.
Okay, fair enough. And now we have trivia. I just want everybody to know that this movie is packed with trivia. And so if you want more trivia on this movie, just go to IMDb and check out trivia because I don't have it all. But due to the film's modest budget, Axl Rose of Guns N' Roses donated Sweet Child of Mine free of charge for the final match.
That's good on you, Axl Rose. I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah, and Axl Rose, from what I hear, tends to be a major douche nozzle. So that was a very non douche nozzle move. Thanks, Axel. Darren Aronofsky revealed that Mickey Rourke was the first choice to play Randy the Ram Robinson, but the studio wanted Nick Cage. Aronofsky fought,
No.
Aronofsky fought to have Rourke as the Ram and ultimately won out. You say no, but I think Cage could have done it.
Oh man. You he's got to be a heel though, right? Like
I don't know. Cage just has that level of acting that I think he could pull off anything. I think Cage is a toward the force of an actor who is more incredible than anyone gives him credit for. That being said, as much as I think Nick Cage could have done this, Nick Cage's face is way pretty, and through years of drug and alcohol abuse, you can't recreate Mickey Rourke's beat up face as an old wrestler for Nick Cage. And that is as much a part of this character as the acting.
I don't know if I buy 2008 Nick Cage having a heart attack. I mean,
That's fair.
I guess,
That
one of our heroes and idols, RIP Eddie Guerrero. We didn't even use a lie, cheat, and cheel. Did I just say lie, cheat, and cheel? Lie, cheat, and steal scene. But I guess Eddie had a heart attack at like 43, so I guess maybe I could have.
Yeah, but I mean, you still don't believe it. I mean, sometimes when I think about Eddie Guerrero, I'm just like, there's no way he's dead, but he's dead.
Not a Tupac
He's
situation.
not a Tupac, not an Elvis. No, he's dead. The first scene of Randy working the deli counter was improvised. When real customers kept walking up to the counter during filming, Arnowski told Rourke to take their orders while the camera would continue rolling. They also improvised for all of the backstage locker room scenes.
Huh. Don't you usually just like go to the deli at night, turn the lights on and do it at night when the store's closed? I guess not.
Yeah,
All right. Interesting.
but
The
that
backstage stuff's
worked.
cool too.
Yeah. Scott Siegel, the actor who portrayed a steroids dealer in the film, was arrested a few months after the film's release for steroids possession and assaulting federal officers.
Life imitates
Hell
art.
yeah. Hell yeah. Hulk Hogan of Hulkamania fame claimed on the Howard Stern show that he was offered the role of Randy the Ram Robinson. No, you weren't, Hulk Hogan. You were so bad at acting. Hogan claims he turned down the role because he felt he wasn't the right man to portray the character. Darren Aronofsky publicly disputed this, stating that Hogan was never considered and that Mickey Rourke was his only choice for the
I've
role.
never believed
Do you
one
also
man's word over another as much as I do right now.
Hulk Hogan, I read this the other night. Hulk Hogan also takes full credit for discovering The Undertaker.
Fuck off.
I forget what movie he was filming, but they needed two really big motherfuckers to play these aliens or whatever. And he was like, I remember big scary Mark Calloway. And he called up Mark Calloway, brought him out to Cali, filmed the scene. It's like, man, I want you to meet Vince McMahon. And they went and flew to New York and met Vince McMahon, and both Undertaker and Vince dispute this, and it make the disputing makes even more sense because Mark Calloway was already under contract with the WWE when that movie that Hulk Hogan was filming.
Uh,
I
you
love I I love just blatant lies that people just decide to say and they just roll with
you
it. And even when they're disputed, they're just like, no, I mean, this happened to
you
me.
saw the final WrestleMania match, right?
Not
Okay.
yet. But I know Undertaker shows
Yeah.
up.
When the gongs hit, I may have jumped up on the couch. I may have Tom Cruised it right there.
Awesome. The old wrestling photos of the Ram in his heyday are actually doctored photos of former wrestler Lex Luger.
Mm. I was wondering how they did that. That's cool.
Yep. Only 2 days after its completion, the wrestler was screened on Venice Film Festival and walked off with the Golden Lion Award for Best Picture.
Boy, I got that in just in time.
You know what that you know what the Golden Lion from the Venice Film Festival is definitely Tropic Thunder makes fun of that and it's like winner of the coveted Flying Monkey
Oh, for
Award.
sure.
All of the wrestling scenes were filmed at real wrestling events in front of live audiences, and that's fucking cool.
Yeah, that because they did like the audiences were it. The audience is maybe the best part about professional wrestling, and they did nail that in this movie.
Use his leg! Use his leg! Use his leg! Use his leg! Which totally a real thing that would happen in a wrestling match.
Uh, keep reading.
World Wrestling Entertainment Hall of Famer Asa Anoy, or the Wild Samoan, trained Mickey Rourke and choreographed the matches. His daughter, Vale Anoy, was giving a brief role as a pharmacist.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. The shooting schedule was 35 days.
That's
Uh,
not a lot of
Darren,
time.
Ar- Darren, no, it is not. Darren Aronofsky and Marissa Tomei attended the same high school, Edward R. Murrow High School. And lastly, Marissa Tomei's first day of shooting was the scene where she gives Mickey Rourke a lap dance.
Yeah, you got to do that scene first, right?
Yeah, you got to get that out of the
Yeah,
way.
you don't you because I'm assuming Mickey Rourke hadn't worked in forever. Their paths never crossed. They probably never met, or if they did, it was just in passing. Just knock the lap dance out first day.
Yep. Yep. And to finish trivia, the scene where a fan hands the Ram a prosthetic leg and the Ram then hits his opponent with it is based on an actual event from an ECW show
Paul
where a
Heyman,
fan
baby.
repeatedly yet where a fan repeatedly yelled, "Use my leg," and eventually tossed his prosthetic leg to Tommy Dreamer, who in turn used it on his opponent. In fucking credible.
EC dub, EC dub, EC dub.
I'll tell you what, wrestling is the writing of in the likes of Shakespeare and Alexander Dumas, in case anybody ever wondered what my opinion was on the writing of wrestling.
That was good trivia, and like Jacob said earlier, there's more of that. You can go read all of them. We just didn't want to have an hour and a half podcast.
Yeah. If you sat through 2 hours of this movie, you were already bored for 45 minutes of it, so we didn't wanna add to that. Alright, movie impersonation time.
Randy the Ram Robinson.
Let's do this.
Randy the Ram. You know why they call me the Ram? They can ram my dick in that pussy. I told you stole my bit at the beginning. That's
I
all I had.
I like how you I like how you still went with it and you didn't
I
try anything
Yeah,
else.
I was like, I don't know what else to say. And I think that was my Sylvester Stallone impression.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. That's me hitting my elbows like the Ram. I'm the Ram. I'm gonna fuck shit up. I like smacking man meat with other men. So I started working the deli counter at the grocery store so I could smack that deli meat. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm ready for tonight's match. I'm gonna ram my head right into another guy's head. I'm gonna get off work. I'm gonna get a stripper tonight. Actually, no, I get a stripper last night. I'm gonna get a nice little sex worker, ram my cock down her throat. I'm gonna do all kinds of ramming. Then I'm gonna wake up in the morning. I'm gonna go smack meat in the deli counter. I'm a meat smacker. That's why they call me the Ram. Smack my man meat.
You you got that one, no doubt. Randy the Ram Robinson.
All right. Final thoughts on the movie in general. BJ, what's your rating of this movie?
It As much as I didn't like it on the second watch, I still have to tip the hat to the directors, to the actors, to a really well-made movie that is a really tough watch. So I'll give it a 7.8.
Okay. I'm going to complete lower than you because I can't give this an 8 if I'm rounding up. I'll go 6.8. Give it a 7
It,
if I'm rounding up.
it's a respect score for me.
Yeah. Me too. Because all those things are right that you said. Like the directing's incredible, the acting's incredible, the cinematography is incredible. Like it's an all around good movie on those aspects, and those aspects are good enough to bring it up to a 6.8. Should they remake this? I mean, yeah, make more wrestling movies. They have one about the
Von Erichs.
Ericksons,
Von
right?
Erichs.
Yeah, the Von Erichs. I'm ready to watch that. Make more wrestling movies. I want to watch them. Make a Stone Cold Steve Austin movie.
We're gonna go to the theater
Hell
and
yeah.
we're gonna drink a beer and another beer
What?
and another beer
What?
and a fourth beer and a
What?
margarita
What?
and tequila
What?
and some brisket
What?
and a big old can of
What?
Texas ass whooping.
What?
I'm out.
All right, BJ. Here's my good and bad IMDb reviews, and I'm ready for these for you.
Oh,
You're gonna
let's
love
go.
them.
Let's go.
Okay, by Misa in January 2009, 10 out of 10, titled Mickey, Mickey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Mickey. Hey,
Did
Mickey.
you improvise that or is that what they
Those
wrote?
That's what
because
they
I was
wrote.
about half a second away from doing that.
Those infamous music lyrics are based on the Tony Basil's 80s hit song Mickey. Who knows? Maybe Tony was dedicating the song to 80s acting icon Mickey Rourke. The Mick powerfully acted in such 80s cult classics as Body Heat, Diner, Rumblefish, 9.5 Weeks, and Barfly. Rourke soared on screen with magnetism, coolness, and self assurance in the 80s. Mickey did not have many obstacles to wrestle back then, except women, fame, and money.
Don't forget
And those matches, he did, this person did. And those are matches made in Hollywood heaven. Then the 90s rolled around and Rourke hit rock bottom. And
that.
there, the
Is that
internal
a pun
wrestling with
intended?
I think so. And there, the internal wrestling with personal traumas, egotistic insubordination, and lost opportunities took a toll on Rourke physically and emotionally. Well, the good news is that the vigorous thespian Roar of Rourke is back in a winning way with his superb performance as a wrestler, Randy the Ram Robinson in The Wrestler. Rourke has been gradually climbing the comeback ladder in recent years with impressive supporting roles in The Pledge, Sin City, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico. However, those were just opening acting matches for the main event of Rourke's comeback in the form of The Wrestler. Even though The Wrestler had a tag team cast and crew to make it a winning film, the ultimate ringleader of the movie was Mickey Rourke with his astonishing performance, which should present him with a Best Actor Oscar and a legitimate resurrection back to the film industry.
I'm loving these
Keep blowing
wrestling
our
references in this review. I'm loving them.
Keep blowing our mind, Mickey. It's guys like you, Mickey, that inspire us to reach for the top no matter how many slams life gives us. Excellent.
That's a great review. I loved all the wrestling
Right.
drops in there.
It was quality. I finally have a good one-liner
Okay.
by Solly Dabs in 1 out of 10 titled Horrible. The only thing decent in this movie was Marissa Tomei's naked body.
Not naked, just topless. Get it right, bro.
I mean, she's wearing a thong. She's wearing a thong. Might as well be naked.
Fair. I want to see
Robert.
pussy.
Okay, by Robert Runn, 1 out of 10. Boo! Another movie depicting rural Americans as unworthy losers,
What?
like Country Song and a number of other recent films. This movie is stereotypical and ugly. It depicts rural Americans as being low-life people who have no
Hang
future. It's
on.
vile it's vile and it is prejudiced.
Well, I'm pretty sure this movie takes place in New Jersey.
This is the same kind of guy who watches The Wire and he's like, ugh, what kind of show would depict inner city black people
In
this way?
in fact, isn't it a little prejudice on his part to assume because he's living in a trailer that it's rural America? Because this is
I
taking
think so.
place in Elizabeth, New Jersey. This is not
Yeah.
Hayseed, Kentucky.
No.
Interesting.
Hate Hatred for the poor people from poor upbringings in America has never been stronger. It is fine to be compassionate with the people of humble beginnings from other places, but it is fine to depict people from humble beginnings in the US as drug addicted losers with no hope and no belief, with no loyalty and no love. Shame on everyone involved in this film.
Oh, so their problem is they depicted white people as bad. That's their issue.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Correct.
I don't agree with you, but I will defend your right to say it.
People who are willing to get paid to condition people into thinking their lives are worthless should not be seen as some kind of role models or heroes. They are just sellouts who hate rural and poor Americans.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Read that one and I was like, this is a good one.
Ooh, man. Yeah, it sounds to me like their issue is why white people bad? Which the thing is like Mickey Rourke like wasn't a bad person.
Nobody was bad.
Yeah, whatever. All right. To each his own.
Yeah. Should people watch this movie?
Ooh, if you've never seen it before, it's definitely worth watching. If you're new to movies or new to, kind of Oscar movies, this is a great one to start with because it is everything the Oscars are looking for in a movie. If you've seen this movie before, you're good. You don't have to go back to it. You've seen it once. You're good. Move on with your life. Spend your 2 hours doing something else.
Yep. Agreed. Just listen to the pod.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a good time. But anyways, that's us on IRMF Team. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Reddit. We have an email. We are on the misogynistic racist app X.
Mm. Not X, formerly known as Twitter. The racist misogynist
Mm,
app known as X.
correct. Where where they protect free speech.
They protect the free speech that they agree with, not the free speech they don't.
Yeah, that's the only kind of free speech there is. Ask Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
His tone has changed from 2019 to 2024.
Yeah, all of a sudden he doesn't care about free speech. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Hmm.
Let's talk about ending suffering for brown people.
No,
Mm-mm.
absolutely
Mm-mm.
not.
Can't do that.
KKK wasn't that bad. Oh, that's cool. You can say that.
Yeah, yeah. March with them. It's all good. We're not going to stop you. Right to protest.
Oh, wait, college students are unarmed and causing no damage? I better call in the frickin' Texas Rangers.
Uh, well, that's us at IRMFT. We'll see you next time.
Bye.